students, welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, it's curriculum season and I am deep in the thicket of going through all of the curriculum options for my kids for this next coming school year. And as I was looking at all of my Evan Moore books, you see I have a ton of them. I love Evan Moore. I had two resources that I was like, are they the same? What are they? So I have Skill Sharpeners Reading and then the Read and Write, the Smart Start series. And I figured that I was just going to compare both of them for you and just kind of what my take on them were. And if you had to choose one, which one would you choose? And just kind of have a conversation about these two resources and just see how they compare. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm glad you've decided to stick around because that means you and I are probably really similar in that we love just watching tons of curriculum videos and we want to compare everything so that we can make our decision as to what we want to purchase. And sometimes if you're like me, you end up just buying all the things. So here's how we're going to organize this video. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Skill Sharpeners Reading first, and then I will pinpoint a couple of things about the writing, and then we'll talk about how they are the same and different and which one I like better. I have done a whole video look in the book of the Skill Sharpeners Reading series, and it includes the pre-K version. I think I had pre-K and grade 2 in that video. So in this video, I have grade 1. I just barely got this in the mail, hence why I'm filming this video. And then I have grade 2. I no longer have the pre-K version as we finished that book and I got rid of it. So let me talk about this for just a few minutes. I love Skill Sharpeners, so that is what it is. All right, what you're gonna get here, you're gonna get 14 units or 14 sections that you get to go through with your child. So you could do one section a week, or you could spread it out and do a reading page like every other day if you're doing it as your curriculum. The one that I'm looking at here with you guys is going to be grade 1, okay? So at the beginning of each unit, you get a story. What I like about this book over Read and Write is that they've broken this up and they have like full pictures, so it feels like you're reading a book. If you compare it to this one, well, we're just going to do compare right away, I guess. If you compare it to this one, you can see they have all of the text on one page, and then they go through the ending sounds for this particular unit, okay? So I like this a little bit better because it's going to let my child feel like she's reading something. I felt like when I did this one before, it just got really wordy that I felt like I needed to read it for her, or she was taking a long time and she would get frustrated because there's just so many words on one page that it intimidated her just by visually looking at it. Your child may not have that problem, but it's something to be aware of in the event that they are. So here's another example. You can see this is the story of Put It in the Pack. And these words are broken up in such a way that it seems more approachable for a beginning reader. Now, my daughter is she's a young first grader. And so to be putting her in first grade work, you know, is obviously, I just like something that's a little more catered to her. So that's always a long story. Those of you that have been around for a long while know it, but here's just another example. It just looks like you're reading a story, and I really like that about the Skill Sharpeners Reading. So if you're looking for a reading curriculum, this really kind of caters toward making your child feel like they're reading a story as opposed to just reading a passage. Now, there's benefits to reading a passage because when you do standardized testing, this is how they present that information. So something to keep in mind, okay? All right, moving on. Number 2, the next thing that you're gonna get with the Skill Sharpeners Reading that you do not get in this one, the Read and Write, is going to be a reading comprehension activity. Here is an example of that, what that's gonna look like. So this particular reading comprehension activity says draw a picture of each thing and then draw lines to who fixed it. So it's really fun and interactive because now you're incorporating some art, and then it's reading comprehension because you have to remember in the story who fixed the button, the wheel, and the knob, okay? So you don't really get reading comprehension in this particular book. I feel like you jump right into like reading skills. So after you read the story, then you're going to just begin kind of like sight words or word recognition, letter sounds and how those sounds all blend together. Here's some like spelling on the next page. Now these are words that they may have read in the story, but it's not a reading comprehension activity in any way, okay? And as you go through the rest of the pages, it's the same, right? So we're gonna write some parts of the story, read, okay? So there's not gonna be like, review what happened. And for me, that's actually important because I'm noticing that my daughter is reading fairly well, but her reading comprehension skills are lacking a little bit. So I like the idea of being able to read a passage and then kind of review, well, what is it that you read? Let's have an activity or do some questions that are going to help us talk about what it is that you read, okay? There's another difference that you get with that. All right, moving along, then you are going to do word work. You do word work with both of them, so that's kind of similar between the two, and I showed you the other one. You do word work. This one is recalling story details. Again, that reading comprehension is the first one, okay? And then critical thinking. This is also kind of a part of the story, and I noticed as I went through the story that all of them have this like critical thinking where this is what, for example, one of the stories you read about, a bunch of stuff gets broken. So the critical thinking activity is, from all of these things that are broken, what is something that you can fix? Well, you can fix the tire on your bike when it's broken, but you can't fix the peel of a banana. You can't do that. So anyway, this is just an example of that critical thinking. What would you do if your pack was too heavy? What would you do if you got dark? What would you do if it got dark? So it has kind of some of those critical thinking questions, opens a conversation for the kids, especially if it's a subject area that they're interested in. Read and write does not have critical thinking. They, again, writing, spelling, and there's a story at the beginning, so I guess that's the reading part, but other than that, this is read it. So, okay, so you're going to practice reading here, spelling, reading, spelling, okay? So that's really kind of a noticeable difference that I'm seeing here, is that your skill sharpeners reading is really focusing on those reading skills and the thinking skills. This is a using prior knowledge, connecting the dots, make something you might see on a camping trip, and then list other animals that you may see on a camping trip. Again, it's that critical thinking, connecting the dots to your life, okay? And then you go on to the next activity, or the next story. So each one, I'm just gonna kind of look at this while I talk to you guys. Each one you have a story, and then you're going to have one reading comprehension activity, one word working activity, 2 word working activities, and then your critical thinking. So that's 5 activities that you're going to do. This particular one has 6. Look how cute this is. This is like a little cut and paste activity. So this story is, what is this story? An ant on the rug, but then this is going to be who lives in the barn. So you cut out your barn, and here's your barn doors, and then you paste it. He's big and brown and shakes his head. Oh, guess what? This is the next book that you read. How cute is that? So you actually make the book. How cute is that? Okay, so each, obviously I hadn't seen that before, so we discovered it together. Okay, so it looks like you're gonna have a story and then 5 activities with that story. Complements beautifully if you wanna do it within 1 week, but it also is very easy to spread out. Just read the story more than one time, kind of like a 5 in the row activity. Just every day when you're like, okay, we're gonna do reading time, have your child read the story the first time, second time, third time, however many times that you do that. And then over the course of 5 days, you will have finished all of the activities. So that's the Skill Sharpeners reading. And then the read and write, like I mentioned, is a lot of writing activities that kind of complement your reading. And I guess you could say it's a little bit of reading comprehension. When you're, like this, you have to read and then comprehend what it is that you read about to be able to connect the dots. So I guess that could count as a reading comprehension. But all of the Evan Moore books, something that I love, I feel like I have to get really close to you because I love it. All of the Evan Moore books that I read always write at the top of the page the skill that your student is practicing. I really like this feature because if you have to report what your student is doing, like write a couple of sentences to the school that you're affiliated with, this makes it super easy because you can just like write bullet sentences down, right? So this week we learned reading and writing CVC and CCVC words. We reread some simple sentences and demonstrated comprehension. And then you can just, either take a picture of this if you put it in a digital file or put it in your actual portfolio. Evan Moore does a great job of doing that. And that's something that I have to do with our third-party school is submit every week what we learned. I love that Evan Moore does that. Skill Sharpeners does it too. Right here, it just is up in the top, skill, understanding word meaning. So those are the two. Let me just show you really quick. There's quite a difference, quite a jump between level 1 reading. This is your level 1 or grade 1. And then when you go to grade 2, let me just show you a page here. Here's your grade 2 reading level, okay? So again, it's quite a jump. This is also going to be, 3 pages here, I guess. Is there another page? There's just the 3 pages. But it's quite a jump. You still get the cool illustrations. It still feels like a story. I thought I had, oh no, see, I have pre-K for this one. I don't have grade 2, which I thought I did. But anyway, that's the 2 cents that I have about that. For me, I actually am going with Skill Sharpener reading for all of my kids this year. I have grade 1 for my youngest, for my middle daughter. I'm going to get the pre-K one again, and then I'm going to grab grade 3. So I have to get a few more of these. But after looking over them, sitting here on the floor, kind of trying to decide what I wanted to choose, after looking over them, I think I'm going to go with the Skill Sharpeners this time around. I love the Smart Start. I think it's a great product. And I actually did it with my youngest, my preschooler. So it's great for letter recognition. If you don't have like a daily learning notebook, which I'm a huge proponent of, watch my videos, I have that, but you can rip these pages out and put it into your daily learning notebook, it's just really, really well set up. But as far as a reading program, I'm going to go with this. So anyway, hopefully this comparison helped out in helping you choose something. If you have a question, leave it in the description box below. I always read my questions and comments from all of my viewers. So stick that in there and I will answer it for you. And then if you're not subscribed, come on over. Come and subscribe to my channel and you can check out all the things that we have going on over here on our side of the mountain. Thanks so much for watching another video and we'll catch you in the next one. Just one more second. Let me take this picture. What do you need? Okay, what?